Hello viewers, you are watching my YouTube channel Voice of Canada. This is our first program on immigration matters in Canada, especially during the COVID-19, and today I have the opportunity to talk with Laila Yazdani. She is the immigration consultant. You are welcome, Laila.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Okay, Laila, let's start with the first question. How COVID-19 situation affected the processing of different applications, especially visitor and students? What are your views?
Yeah, okay. So since March, to manage the outbreak of coronavirus disease, Government of Canada announced travel restriction which limits entering to Canada. And at the same time, health authorities as well, they announced another restriction on workplaces, including closure of lots of offices and making them to work under lower capacity or working virtually and online. So all these restrictions make the processing of application takes longer than usual, and in not being able to finish the processing the application on time. Depend on the type of your application, you may experience different delay, but almost all the applications, including immigration and PR, visitors, students, refugees, citizenship applications, almost all of them experience different delay. First problem is the travel restriction that makes prevent you to come to Canada. And then the second issue is the closure of lots of offices, governmental and non-governmental, which cause people not be able to complete their application, especially for biometric and other documents like police certificate from their country. So that's why they were not able to submit their application on time, and this is another issue. Because of that, IRCC announced that they will not reject the application for missing the deadlines, and they extended the deadline for biometric as well. Travel restriction is still in place, and if you want to come to Canada, you have to be exempt from these travel restrictions. If you are an immediate family member of a Canadian citizen or permanent residence, you may be able to enter to country. Immediate family member means a spouse or common law partner, parents or guardian, and dependent child. Some workers with valid work permit, some international students that have been approved for a study permit before March 18. These are able to come to Canada. Again, you have to check before you book your flight. And otherwise, you have to prove that your travel to Canada is essential. And there is complete explanation of essential and non-essential reason to travel to Canada on CIC website that you can have access to that.
Yes, Laila, the follow-up question is the travel restrictions and the immediate family members, if they want to meet, for example, my daughter is in the United States and she wanted to come here to Canada and meet us. What are the requirements? What is the essential documents, or essential reason she has to produce to the immigration or to the concerned authorities?
Okay, so immediate family member, as I've told you, include parents and guardian, a spouse or common law partner, and dependent child. Dependent child means under the age of 22 and single. So for proof of relationship, you have to have your birth certificate and proof of relationship that shows your relation, whether it's a spouse or parents and child. And then the person in Canada, they have to have the proof of status, let's say Canadian citizenship or PR card. And the most important thing is they have to have a quarantine plan. Whoever is coming to Canada, they have to have a quarantine plan in advance, showing to officer, explaining that where they're going to stay for 14 days and who is going to take care of them, who is going to do their stuff, let's say like grocery shopping. And because for 14 days, they have to stay in quarantine.
Okay, let's move to second question. What are the changes made for international students during the COVID-19 especially?
Okay, to process their
To
application.
process their applications?
Yes, so again, due to COVID-19 situation, lots of people applying for a study permit, they were not able to complete their application, let's say their police certificate or biometric. So, and they submit the application but is not complete. That's why the IRCC, for those applications who are submitted by September 15, they are doing the processing in 2 stages. First, they're going to check your eligibility criteria. Eligibility criteria means if you have a letter of acceptance from the college, if you have enough funds to support your study here, if you have the receipt of tuition payment, and the other criteria for eligibility. If you pass this stage, then you get the approval. It means that you can start your study online for those who have to start their study for September. So you can start your study online, and then when you submit your documents later on, they check your admissibility based on your biometric and police check and medical if you need. So that's the second stage, and if you approve for the second stage, then your study permit will be issued, and if the travel restrictions change, you will be able to come to Canada and get your study permit and go to the college and university.
Okay, and the one follow-up question, if somebody wish to come Canada for studies from Pakistan especially, or India, or region from Iran or those countries, what are the special arrangements? I know Pakistan has placed in 6 countries for students.
Direct stream.
Yes. Do you have that idea?
Yes, that's the study permit
shortest
application.
time?
That's the study permit application is different for people from India and Pakistan. They have direct stream. The application is different than normal stream is the direct stream, but the requirement is different. So for those people, they have to have the tuition fee paid in advance for the first year. They have to have a $10,000 saved in their GIC account in Canada, and they have to have the IELTS minimum 6. So those are the requirements they have to meet first, and then they apply. So requirement is different, and they call it direct stream admission for people applying from India and Pakistan. It's just because you meet the more requirement at the beginning, so it's easier for them to process. Doesn't mean that it's guaranteed to get your study permit. It's just a requirement is different. It's just to make sure that you have your $10,000 GIC account for your expenses in Canada, and then you paid already first year tuition fee in advance. It's just for financial part is a little bit clear your situation, but again you have to have the criteria for a study permit, like your study plan has to be clear, and your admissibility has to be checked to get your study permit approved.
Let's move to another question, Laila. One of my colleague from Pakistan, he asked me a question, Mr. Adil. What are the main requirements or qualifications for someone who wish to immigrate to Canada?
Okay. So usually every year Canada accepts around 300,000 new immigrants to the country from different streams. So it all depends on your qualification. It all depends on your background to see which program you can fit in. That's why when people are asking about immigration to Canada, we're going to ask them to send us their resume, or we're going to send them the assessment form to fill out, and based on their information we have to see what program they can fit them. So mainly to immigrate to Canada, the main program is economic class, which manage the express entry under 3 different programs. And again, for that program, you have to be eligible. So we have to check your education, your work experience, your age, your language proficiency, your family situation. And based on that, you're going to get the score. If you are qualified, if you get the enough score to apply under Express Entry for a skilled immigrant, then you're going to put your profile and then you're going to get the invitation to apply. If not, there are other programs, let's say provinces and territories in Canada, they have their own specific program based on their labor market need. So, and then sometimes people, they don't make it through Express Entry, but they have a chance through provinces, through provincial nominee. So we have to assess their qualifications. Some people, they have job offer. If you have a job offer from the province, if you have a previous work experience, if you have a previous study experience in any provinces, or if you have a family tie in Canada in any provinces, you might be eligible to apply through those provinces. So again, it's based on your qualification. We have to check everything. If you are qualified to immigrate to Canada through Express Entry, so then we let you know how to make your profile and then you get the ITA. Some people are not at the beginning, they're not qualified for Express Entry, but they can make their score, like those who are coming to Canada and they study here. So if you come to Canada and study here, you may get the score enough later on to apply for permanent residency, because studying in Canada and later on working in Canada gives you enough score. For some people, that way works.
Okay.
Some people are interested to apply as entrepreneur, so that's another stream. Each province, they have their own streams of investment and entrepreneur. So we have to really see what are your qualification, what is your qualification, and which program you can apply for.
Okay. So how can we sum up if somebody, because this is general perception, the Canadian immigration process is very lengthy, very difficult. How do you express this? Is it difficult? Is it lengthy, or is it? If you go through proper channel, is it easy or what?
Well, you have to be clear at the beginning of the process what program you're applying for. You have to be clear if you have all the qualification, and especially your language requirement, your study background, if you have all your documentation, if your work experience matches the criteria that you are applying for. So if you are clear, if you have a proper consultation at the beginning, it makes it very easier for people. Lots of people are getting trouble and because they don't know how to apply, the documentation is not proper, so they send the document and they get back the package is returned back to them because of incomplete documentation. So it's very important at the beginning, if you have a proper consultation and you know what program you're applying for, it makes it easier. Of course, the immigration program, all of them is lengthy, and it's not like what you expect. It's always longer than what you expect at the beginning, but it has to be proper start and documentation.
Viewers, this was the introductory video, and few topics we discussed in a short time, and we are looking forward your feedback, and we will ask Laila more questions after you send us your messages direct to Laila as well, and myself in the comment box, and we will give detailed answers. So Laila will explain about herself, and she will tell you how to contact her.
Yes, so basically we're going to have more session. Today was just a general topic talking about the COVID-19 situation and the general questions. But based on your questions later on, and we're going to have more videos, but those videos is going to be a specific topics. Let's say we're going to talk about Express Entry in a specific videos, and then study permits, PR application, refugees, and different topics based on the feedback and questions that comes from the audience. And also you can contact me directly. My name is Laila Yazdani. I have my office for immigration services here in Mississauga at Parsika Immigration Services. My information is going to be in message box, and you can contact me by WhatsApp or by email. and I'll be happy to assist you with your immigration questions.
Thank you so much, Laila.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
for having me.
thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel, and we are looking forward to your feedback. See you in next video.